Thank you so much, Lynn. And we're reading A Course in Mysticism and Miracles, Begin Your Spiritual Adventure by John Moondy. And we're on page 177 at the bottom if you have the book and you want to read along. Universe of Universes. There is a very interesting thought that appears only once in the Course. The creator of life, the source of everything that lives, excuse me, the father of the universe and of the universe of universes, and of everything that lies even beyond them, would you remember? This is from the text, chapter 19. And this is the only time the phrase, the universe of universes, appears in the Course. Does anybody have anything to say of that quote? I'll read it again. The creator of life, the source of everything that lives, the father of the universe and of the universe of universes, and of everything that lies even beyond them, would you remember? What do you think of that?
That's really beautiful. And the universe of universes. I love it.
Yeah. It's quite the play on words there. Good. All right, I'll keep going, but if anybody wants to comment at any time, please just unmute and comment. I might not see your hand, but if you prefer to raise your hand and wait, that's fine too. But I welcome any sharings here. So, doesn't your childhood seem like a dream to you? Something that happened once upon a time in a land far, far away? If you have lived long enough to have gone through major moves and transitions, doesn't it seem as if you've lived other lives that you now remember as dreams? Wow. Yeah, I agree with that. Although I also don't remember a lot. And I feel like if somebody tells me a story, sometimes I'm like, oh, I sort of remember it. But then their story just kind of overlays the memory. And I'm like, do I really remember this? Or is it just this input from this other person? So I've been looking at that and realizing that as somebody tells me a story about the past, I can't be sure that that is 100% truth because it's based on their perception of what happened. So it's good for me to remember that because if I don't remember something, I can, obviously be compassionate to what they're saying. If it's something quote unquote bad or even a good memory, I can just play along with it because I don't need to argue about a past memory. I don't remember it, or that's not how I remember it. And it's funny because I was on a family chat the other day. Every week we meet on Facebook Messenger, and whoever can come in our family joins in a chat. And we were talking about our old place up in Uranium City, Saskatchewan, which is up north. That's where I was born. It's a mining town. While it's closed now. They closed the mine in the city. But we were talking about TVs, and our little niece was saying they had a TV in this bedroom and they had three TVs. And then we're like, oh, well, remember we only had one TV. And then I was like, wait a minute, I remember watching TV in that other room of ours, in this room. And it was like I was trying to argue about how many TVs we had. And it's so silly because even as I was recalling this memory, it was dreamlike. It was this sort of dreamlike um, vision I was replaying in my mind. So I really do relate with this, as if you've lived other lives that you now remember as dreams. We usually forget our nighttime dreams, even those that are vivid and seemingly real. We forget those dreams because they were only dreams. Likewise, the day and the moment we are living in right now will soon be a memory, very much like a dream. As time goes by, we will forget more and more of what now seems real. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius tells us life is a fearful dream. The so-called real world is a place of separation, sadness, sin, sickness, and suffering. It is a realm of illusion where the ego and the body are made to seem real and God is nearly forgotten. In God's creation, however, there is no suffering, pain, loss, separation, or death, because God's creation is love itself, an eternal, changeless reality we call heaven. Nothing in this world is eternal. In the world of form, illusions hold sway and heaven seems like a fantasy. For mystics, however, it's the other way around. Heaven is reality, and this world is a dream. So I guess we're all mystics, hey? Because that's kind of the premise we're working from here. To be free of the world, we must forgive the world for all the things we think it has done to us. This means forgiving ourselves for the insanity we have created, the insanity that keeps us from love. In a sense, in a sense, it sounds to me that when I say innocence just now, it sounded like innocence. The insanity that keeps us from love, innocence. In a sense, we are all prodigal sons and daughters who have split ourselves off from our source. At any instant, that source is ready to provide us with guidance. At any instant, that source is ready to provide us with guidance that will help us return to the eternal reality of God's love. It does not matter what we have done or what we think we have done. God is always ready to welcome us home with open arms. And if you have trouble with the word God, you can simply say source or creator or whatever word that feels right to you. Because I have learned for myself that this is very individualized, and the course talks about that. It says this is an individual course, and only the time in which you take it is something. I don't remember the full quote, but basically it's saying everybody has their own individual path. And I think for me, that's really important to remember when others are seemingly doing their thing, because it's none of my business. It is none of my business what they think of me, what their actions are. I just need to focus on what's going on within me. And then that's it. I mean, that it seems kind of selfish, but it's selfless. It becomes a selfless way when done with the source, Jesus, Holy Spirit, Buddha, the Almighty, whatever. So that's cool because it was like, it's not all about you, Audrey, and realizing, well, it actually is, but it's this different flavor of the selfishness. That makes sense. The body is temporal and will die, but the kingdom of heaven is eternally alive. From the text, chapter 4, It is hard to understand what the kingdom of heaven is within you really means. The kingdom of heaven is within you. The Course explains the word within is unnecessary. The kingdom of heaven is you. We cannot, however, see the kingdom of heaven when we look for the inside on the outside. We've got it flipped around the wrong way. And for this reason, the Course says we must reverse our thinking. As C.S. Lewis writes, if I find in myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that I was made for another world. Another world. That used to be a soap opera. Might still be. Actually, Mike was watching something the other day and The Young and the Restless came on and he's like, honey, come here. Do you recognize these people? I'm like, that's Victor Newman. He's like, how are they still alive? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they're doubles. But then we realize that they're probably just maybe 10 or 20 years older than us, that we're actually older than we thought we were. All right, that was just a little rabbit hole I went into. We are indeed made for another world because we are of another world. Heaven is not something we have to hope for or work to earn. It is not something that is going to happen someday. Heaven is now, simply because there is no other time. When we are living in a drama, we know it. We can feel something artificial, something that is not quite right. Isn't that true? There's this feeling of fakeness that can happen, or even the seeing of, in myself and others, different masks, like different ways of being, like these shapeshifters almost, like it seems fake. And I've often thought that even myself when I've left a conversation or even turned away from something, I'm like, who is that person? Who am I being right now? I don't even recognize myself. When we come to see that heaven is within, we can see the craziness around us and not go crazy. We can see the hatred and not hate. We can see the misery and not be miserable. When we are unaware of heaven within, it is easy to go crazy, to get angry, or to sink into misery. To come to heaven is to come to ourselves. My own hero. That song I just played before we started here on YouTube, it was I Am My Own Hero, Fearless Soul. That's so cool how that relates. Of course, how could it be any other way, right? Everything unfolds perfectly. uh, oh, in the chat. Oh, thank you, Mickey. You love my profile pic. And Mickey went downstairs. She's gonna eat and she's listening on the radio. And then thanks to Rev Wayne for our previous show. All right. We can see the misery and not be miserable. Miserable. When we are unaware of heaven within, it's easy to go crazy, to get angry, or to sink into misery. To come to heaven is to come to ourselves. German physicist Max Planck affirms the teaching of the mystics when he says, there is no material world as we know it. All that we perceive to be matter is held together by a force, and this force is intelligence. As a man who has devoted my entire life to studying the substance of which the world is made, I can firmly state that mind is the matrix of all matter. There you go. Mind is the matrix of all matter. The mind makes up the world we see. And that's the title of this next section, Mind as the Matrix of Matter. That there is no real world, quote unquote, real world, as we perceive it with our senses, is corroborated on a deeper level by the insights of subatomic physics. The photons that comprise light have been observed to consist of waves and particles, but not of both at the same time. Instead, the observer's intent determines which one is seen, wave or particle, which is another way of saying that the observer's perception literally creates reality. Wow, I love that. The observer's intent determines. And that reminds me again of Kabbalah, where the question was, Linda, we're on page 180 of A Course in Mysticism and Miracles, 180, just that first paragraph under mind as a matrix of matter. Thank you for asking. So that reminds me again of Kabbalah and being asked the question, is it more important for somebody's actions or intentions? And the answer to that in Kabbalah terms is the intention is more important than the action. If the intention is one of selflessness, of this selfish selflessness and opening to love and wanting to live in a different way and trying to be caring and loving, then that is more important than, say, if I go do something and then I accidentally knock something off the table and break it, and that was my friend's most prized collector's piece. Maybe I was trying to clean something up for them or something. It's always the intention. And I really love that because it's helpful for me because I'm clumsy, so I don't have to, think I purposely am doing such things to hurt somebody. And that I love all this science talk, by the way. I would just say mind as the matrix of matter, and underneath that, my writings would be it's science, period. If you just say it's science, that's it. So I like that. I didn't realize that we did not see waves and particles at the same time. That's very, very interesting. So that makes sense that the observer's perception literally creates reality. With this comes the further realization that every quote unquote thing we see is a projection from our minds. Although we do not literally quote unquote make up other people, we do quote unquote make up our interpretation of everyone we see. I think that's a very important point, that we don't literally make up other people. We're making up the interpretation of everyone we see. There is something holding the universe together, and it's not gravity. Gravity works within our own and other planetary and galactic systems, but it is not a sufficient force to explain why the universe is not literally flying apart. Something is keeping everything together. The physical universe, made up of what we call atoms, makes up only 4% of the universe as a whole. Another 23% is made up of what is called dark matter. Although dark matter is not observable, scientists know that galaxies, clusters of galaxies, and the universe itself contain far more matter than just that which interacts with electromagnetic radiation and can, therefore, be detected. The remaining 73% is made up of what cosmologists call dark energy. No one is quite sure what dark energy is, as we do not have any means of measuring it. There is, however, some force acting in opposition to gravity that holds everything together, even though the universe is expanding. Why don't we call this thing that has no form, no dimension, and cannot be measured by mind or love or God? Why don't we call this thing that has no form, no dimension, and cannot be measured by mind or God? I don't understand that sentence. It seems like it's missing something, but it doesn't matter. Like mind, like God, love has no form, no dimension, and it cannot be measured. Oh, whatever. Okay, keep going. The main question is not how do things work in the world of physics? The main question is how do things work on the level of mind? In his book, Reality is Not What It Seems, Italian physicist Carlo Roviella points out that the more science discovers about matter, the more we realize how much we do not know. The difference between physics and metaphysics is that in physics, we are forever looking for deeper answers to deeper questions. In metaphysics, we find those answers. That is, we come to know the mind of God because we have forever been a part of it. Who runs this mind machine anyway? Is it all a matter of behavioral conditioning, fantasy, and ego control? Or is there a higher, brighter, more brilliant way of seeing, free from all external restraints? Mystics claim that this way of seeing is found, paradoxically, by turning everything over to God. Nothing matters except what we make matter by bringing it into form physically or mentally through imagination. When distinctions created by imagination are taken to be real, especially the distinctions between subject and object, I and other, self and world, we and they, we lose sight of reality's wholeness and fall into an illusion of separation. Mystics reach for a higher point of view wherein there is no separation and time gracefully stops, as does the world. From this perspective, there is no judgment, and thus there are no problems. Mystics can continue to act in the world, but need not worry about the world simply because they know it is ephemeral, while spirit is eternal. When we experience the unbounded vastness of spirit, heaven comes into view. We can then reflect heaven here and now. Ooh, instead of projecting these images of illusion onto the world, then we reflect heavens here and now, that love. I love that. Instead of projecting, we can reflect. This world of time and space is often depressing, making us feel alone, isolated, cut off, and separate. This illusory world is a place of duality where we witness and experience war, sickness, depression, poverty, and powerlessness. We can easily get caught in judgment and condemnation of this world. It is, however, much more fun to reflect heaven here. You can stop with the idea the world is worthless, the Course teaches, for unless you see that there is something else to hope for, you will only be depressed. Our emphasis is not on giving up the world, but on exchanging it for what is far more satisfying, filled with joy, and capable of offering you peace. That is from the workbook lesson 129. And our next section, reading the world right. It's important not to blame our difficulties on the world. After all, it is we who create the world we see. The world is what it is. Your ego can be insulted. In truth, in the truth of who you are, however, you cannot be insulted. Once you see this, you can be content regardless of what comes your way. Let the world be what it is. Simply love it, and it will change by being loved. The Course puts it like this from the workbook lesson 132. Healing is the gift of those who are prepared to learn there is no world and can accept the lesson now. Their readiness will bring the lesson to them in some form which they can understand and recognize. Some see it suddenly on point of death and rise to teach it. Others find it in experience that is not of this world, which shows them that the world does not exist, because what they behold must be the truth, and yet it clearly contradicts the world. All right. See you, Karen. Karen's heading off. Thank you. We have seen, as we have seen in the previous chapters, from the perspective of the mystics, who we are ultimately and therefore in truth has nothing to do with the existence of what we call an ego, or a body, or space, or time. The body is merely a temporal dream that exists only for a moment in space and time. No dream has any form, being strictly the composition of an unconscious mind. From the text, chapter 18, according to the Course, at no single instant does the body exist at all. Clearly invisible from the text, chapter 12. When you made visible what is not true, what is true became invisible to you. Yet it cannot be invisible in itself, for the Holy Spirit sees it with perfect clarity. It is invisible to you because you are looking at something else. Yet it is no more up to you to decide what is visible and what is invisible than it is up to you to decide what reality is. What can be seen is what the Holy Spirit sees. The definition of reality is God's, not yours. He created it, and He knows what it is. You who knew have forgotten, and unless He had given you a way to remember, you would have condemned yourself to oblivion. Boom. And I'm just going to go to the end of this chapter. It's a couple more pages here. Well, a page and a half. There are many things that are invisible, yet we know they exist. Love is invisible. Thought is invisible. Learning is invisible. God and the Holy Spirit are invisible. Light is composed of photons, so it is reasonable to assume that photons have mass. The scientists tell us, however, that photons of life are massless. They have energy and momentum, but no mass. When we talk about them, we are talking about something that seems to have form because we can only talk about it from a position of our being in relationship to it. In a similar way, the mind is naturally abstract from the text, chapter 4. And by definition, that which is abstract is apart from concrete realities. The Course tells us that divine abstraction takes joy in sharing from the text, chapter 4. Furthermore, from the text, chapter 4, creation and communication are synonyms. Creation and communication are synonyms. God created every mind by communicating his mind to it thus, establishing it forever as a channel for the reception of his mind and will. Since only beings of a like order can truly communicate, his creations naturally communicate with him and like him. This communication is perfectly abstract, since its quality is universal in application and not subject to any judgment, any exception, or any alteration. God created you by this and for this. Like photons of light, mind as something separate from the brain. Ah, this is so cool. He just said that. I just had this big discussion about mind versus brain again in another group and was like, well, when people say, my mind is thinking blah blah blah, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute, that's actually the brain. The thinking thought thing is the brain. That's not the mind, meaning the one mind. And this differentiation for me has made an impact because I guess I just didn't even think about it. I just was lumping it all together, thinking that thoughts dropped into the one mind and that was where they came from in the brain. And I wasn't separating out the fact that the ego thought system is what is separate from one mind. So I love that he just says, like photons of light, mind, with the capital M here, and then in brackets, he says, as something separate from the brain, has energy and movement, but no mass. And that's the one mind. So the one mind is like the photons of light. No mass to it. It has energy and movement, but no mass. So that would be invisible also, wouldn't it? You can't see it if it has no mass. In the same way, spirit has no mass. An idea has no mass. In a similar way, there is, in fact, no such thing as a rainbow, except insofar as someone's eyes perceive light traveling through droplets of water hanging in the air. According to modern physics, there is an invisible energy field. It's called the Higgs field, Higgs, that exists throughout the universe. The existence of this field was proven after 40 years of research when particles of light passed through the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland were given mass. Just as any object moving through molasses must slow down, the light photons colliding with each other in the Hadron Collider became slower as they collided. Prophetically, mystic Ralph Waldo Emerson expressed this same truth over a century before when he described the world as nothing but thickened light. The world being described as nothing but thickened light, a thick veil of light. Since the world is a place reliant on perceptions of time, we can, in fact, think of everything as thickened light. The Course thus teaches life and death, light and darkness, knowledge and perception are irreconcilable. From the text, chapter 3. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson observes that the only thing that can travel faster than the speed of light is something that does not have mass. What does not have mass? The abstract does not have mass. Mind does not have mass. Love does not have mass. God does not have mass. And yet we know that there is thought, and there is love, and there is God. Wow. I don't think I've ever understood science as well as I have today. So, John, congratulations on your clear writing about this whole photons and light and mass of things. That was an exceptional read. I really enjoyed that, which takes us to the end of chapter 16. Excuse me. Now, next week, I'm not going to be here because I'll be away I'm going to Saskatchewan, one province over. So I won't be here to do this class, but I'll be back for the following week. And I'm going to play a song by Netta Boyne now so that we can keep the recording going. And I'm going to pick this one. So I'm going to share my screen and thank you all for being here. Before I share the song, does anybody have any comments about the reading they want to share?
Just thank you so much, Audsie. That was wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Dove.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mike. Hi, Audsie, and thanks for the class. Very, very interesting about the science too. And
Yeah.
next time I go to a science museum, and I go to them every once in a while here in Mexico City, when I see the things about the Higgs
Ah,
experiments, I'll look at them differently.
right. Oh, that's so awesome that you can actually go and see that. You should take some pictures. I'd love to see them. That would be awesome. You could do a little, you could give us a little lesson. We could. Oh, that's great. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, Mike.
No, no, that's okay. I'm really not a real science buff, but the reason why it popped out of me at the museum was because there was a thing on the Big Bang Theory about the Higgs theory one day, and I used to show that one particular Big Bang Theory show to my English classes in Mexico City that I taught English to. So it's I just have a history with this Higgs theory, which I really don't know that much about. So now it's taken on a whole new meaning. Anyways, what what jumped out at me was when you were talking about if we see everything with love, then the love will come back to us. I don't remember the exact words, but that sort of really jumped out at me because a lot of times think about what I'm seeing when I'm looking out at the world or when I'm out in the world and around a bunch of people. And I try to think love, but then, if I don't see some sparkling stardust, I don't think I'm seeing anything. So could you comment on that or read that again, maybe, or whatever?
Yeah, well, where was it again? What was it again? Let me see if I can find it. Like, is that the photons of light? What were you saying again? The
No, it
the
was a
whole
little bit,
thing?
it was about 5 minutes ago when you said when you look out with love, it wasn't in the part about science, it was more in the part about the course. When you look at it with love, then love comes back to you, or you see love and it
Wonder.
comes back to
Hmm.
you.
Yes, okay, let me look here. What condemned yourself? I'm not sure.
Teaching with Holy Spirit gives us certainty and worthiness.
From this perspective. Maybe it's here. Nothing matters except what we make matter by bringing it into form physically or mentally through imagination. Mystics reach, I skipped a couple sentences there, but mystics reach for a higher point of view wherein there is no separation and time gracefully stops, as does the world. From this perspective, there is no judgment, and thus there are no problems. Mystics can continue to act in the world, but need not worry about the world simply because they know it is ephemeral, while spirit is eternal. When we experience the unbounded vastness of spirit, heaven comes into view. We can then reflect heaven here and now. Was that it or not?
Well, that's sort of saying the same thing. If we see heaven, if we reflect heaven, we see it. I thought it was that words were actually love. The word love was used.
Hmm. Yeah, probably was. I just can't find it again.
Well, you don't have to read it again. That was my comment. Um, the lesson today was giving up the past, and I'm trying to just look out and not just be aware of what's in front of me and not judging, and trying to see that we're all one and that we're all love. It's something I'm working on, and maybe I don't have to work on it. Maybe I just need to be it.
Hmm. Well, Dove says teaching with Holy Spirit is teaching with love. Teaching with Holy Spirit gives us certainty and worthiness. And teaching is learning. We teach to learn what we need to learn, really. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just reading a book to get more out of it out loud. Like sometimes I'll be reading and I think I'm just reading to myself out loud. I'm like, because that's what it is, really, right? Because it all comes within. If I'm looking outward for something, then I'm forgetting that it's all within. Comes from within, the forgiveness of this personality and all that comes with it will immediately forgive the world. That's my belief or my understanding of it.
Right? Yeah. And if I'm in touch with the love that's inside of me and my one self, and I look out and see that love and share that love, then it's going to come back to me because I'm going to be reminded that that's what I am. But if I look out there and I don't see love, then I'm not in touch with the love that's in me. So
Right. Right.
I'm either teaching separation or teaching love, just by
Right. Yeah.
what I'm looking at.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Mike. Perfect. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Anybody
thanks
else want to come in? Everybody good? Ready for a little songsy by Netta Boyne? All right. All right, let me share my screen and we'll play this song. How about we play Take Me Home? Yeah, be good. I'm so afraid of the unknown. I'm so afraid to be alone. And I try to hear your guiding voice, but still I don't know where to go. But I see your hand next to mine, and I'm holding on so tight. Please promise me you'll never let go. Oh, take me home today. Oh, I wanna go home today. Take me home where I truly belong. Take me home today. My heart speaks so clear, but still I'm paralyzed by fear, and I lack in trust. I lack in faith. My ego made me go astray, and I see your hand next to mine, and I'm holding on so tight. Please promise me you'll never let go. Oh, take me home today. Oh, I wanna go home today. Oh, take me home where I truly belong. Take me home today. Oh, lead the path for me. Wherever you go, there I'll be. Show me the way to be where I never left. Take me there. Oh, take me home. Take me home. Take me home where I truly belong. Wow, Netta sure packs a punch. And I just have to say we are home. We're home now. We are home now. So thank you, everybody. It was awesome.
Thank you, Audsie. Love you, sweetie. Beautiful song from Netta. And I look forward also to seeing you Tuesday night with the Amy. So that's going to be fun. All right. I love you guys. And we'll be back tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern for awakening stories. That's what we're doing now. We're just having chats about how we're coming to awakening. So love you all and